My parents also, like my dad bought this old open trailer. We ended up building a blocks, sides and roof for it. And my mom would book the gigs at the public schools or high schools because we went from public schools. And then my dad would tear home from work and we would take our gear. There was no such thing as having drum cases. I just took a set of drums and threw them in the back.
Right.
And
the Pearl Sparkle kit.
And then my dad would drive us to the gig, and he'd stay there all night. And then, so my parents were really involved in what I was doing.
Right.
Which was really cool because I could share it with them and they could share it with me.
Yeah.
You know?
It sounds like, because you said your mom was young, like they were young when they had you. So it sounded like they related more kind of thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So going through high school, because that must have been a major change for you, though, come to think of it. Your brother suddenly comes in. Suddenly there's this alien invading your family. You know what I mean? Right? Because it changes the dynamic. Because at 13, you kind of, like, you know what the fuck you're doing here. You've got a family. This is how it works. And then all of a sudden it changes some stuff. How was that transition for you? Because it's a weird period of time. There's a lot of stuff changing now.
No, like when his name's Jason, when he came on the scene, I was excited to have a younger brother, and you start thinking like, here I got somebody that can play sports with, and yada yada yada. But you're young, and then you don't really think about the fact, well, wait a minute, dude, there's 13 years difference. So when you're 17, he's 4, he's not gonna be throwing the football with you.
Right.
So no, and when my parents were paying attention to him as a newborn and as a young kid, it didn't bother me in the slightest because I still had this thing here.
Right.
I still had this set of drums, this band I had started. So I had my own focus. As parents, they did what they had to do because this is the newest kid in the block, right? My brother. So there was never any, like, what are you doing in my headspace kind of thing. I still had my own thing to do. And as I got older and subsequently he got older, he had his own friends and his own interests, like sports and stuff like that. And I continued doing the music thing. So, there was never any crossing the lines. And my parents, like, I've got fantastic parents.
Yeah, no, obviously.
I'm really fortunate.
Don't forget, you can subscribe to our full audio episodes on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or anywhere you find your audio podcasts. The full episodes, highlights, and our live off-the-floor performance videos can be found at our YouTube channel, and you can follow us on Facebook and Instagram at the AVB Podcast. Of course, you'll find links to our incredible sponsors and this week's guest in the description below. The AVB Podcast is part of the Border City Network. Find more great content at bordercitynetwork.com. See you next time, folks. Bye-bye.